Hi there, Kelly Fraser here, founder of Connecting, author of my 8th book, LoveDifferentlyStayMarried.com. And as you can see, there's a little tiny gold seal here at the top of that book. And that is because I have given you 21 free videos, a lot like this one, but it gives you step-by-step instruction how to create emotional intimacy in your marriage. So if that's something you want, make sure that you go to the link below and click on it and then sign up for all 21 of those videos. Okay, so I have asked my community to share questions with me that they might have had about emotionally connecting and how to have greater relationships. So this question comes from Mia, and Mia asked a very long question, so I'm going to read it to you. It says, how do you feel about the advice that couples put their relationship before everything else? I've seen some relationship experts recommend that couples put their marriage first, even over the children. Do you recommend something similar? It may seem selfish saying no, spending time with the children on a night off just to have a date night with the hubby. Okay, well, Mia, first of all, thank you so much for this question, because I know a lot of parents have the same question. I think this is going to be very helpful for them too. And you might also be a little unhappy about my answer, because I am going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, it's extremely important, even if you only have one night off a week. I recommend that relationships come first, because your children are learning how to have excellent relationship with their spouse by watching you and daddy or mommy. It is a very powerful thing when they watch you put the relationship first. It doesn't mean that you don't value them and cherish them with all your heart, but it means that you're showing them that this relationship between you and your husband is a covenant, an agreement that you would take care of each other and be there for one another with a vow that you made on your wedding day. So do I think it's more important than your children? No, of course not. And I'm not saying that, you know, here's the relationship with the spouse and here's the children. But here's what God says, to put Him first and then ourselves next, because we need to be able to love other people the way we love ourselves. And we can't do it if we don't love ourselves, right? So God first, ourselves second, and then others third. Now, a lot of people, pastors in particular, will teach it just the opposite. They'll say God first, others second, and then yourself last. I disagree, because how can we love our neighbor as ourselves if we don't love ourselves? So I hope that makes a little bit more sense or brings a little bit of clarity. And if I'm wrong, fine, you know, that's fine. But this is what I choose to believe and how I choose to teach. But please, I'm not the authority on the Bible, so don't take my word for it, but that's just how I believe. Okay, so I'm going to just share a couple of different case studies with you, Mia, because I think that maybe this might, you know, help you understand what it is that I'm talking about. So Jim and Amy, that's not their real names, but I'm going to call it Jim and Amy. They put their children first. They often neglected their marriage, and the children were sometimes put on pedestals even. And all that means is that, you know, they put the children before they put their own relationship. So they would always, you know, oh, you're so wonderful, you're so great, you're all so awesome. And then they would turn to their spouse and criticize and criticize and criticize. So the children were put up while the, you know, critiquing was going on with the relationship and the marriage. The children quickly became aware that all they had to do was throw a temper tantrum. And then the whole direction of everything shifted. Especially they would throw temper tantrums when mom and dad were trying to connect on different things that they wanted to unify in. That's when the children would throw more temper tantrums. So you can see the pattern there. It's extremely important. So they came to me asking for help and how to shift what was happening in their family. So I taught them how to emotionally connect. I taught them how to discipline their children. And before you know it, things did shift in their home, and they did have a much better, healthier, stronger relationship. And the children have learned since that mommy and daddy's relationship are much more important than what their little temper tantrums are. So yes, okay, so here's case study number 2. There was a teenager who smoked pot and hung out with a tough crowd. And his parents were usually divided on every level, from arguing, fighting, often about the children, often about his own behavior, the son. But when Troy and Jan were taught the 5 secrets to marriage, they began date night and trying to unify on important matters in their life. And this means they had to take time to actually formulate a plan. Now, I don't know if you listening, if you're a business person or not, but in business, you have to actually formulate a plan. How many parents formulate plans to be parents? how many couples formulate plans to be in a marriage? Not very many that I know of, but that is what I teach. I teach you how to formulate a plan. So that way you can go from, being with me in my coaching to off to creating what it is that you want in your life. And that's the difference between a coach and a therapist, that you can actually, you're given steps to take and to really nurture and grow what it is that you want in your relationships. So I hope that these two examples help you, Mia, to understand how important your marriage is. Not more important than your children, but definitely you want to prioritize it as such, because it is a valuable educational process for your children to see, and their relationships in the future are based on the example that you give to them right now. So thank you so much for listening. That's the only question I'm going to answer on this video. I will answer many more questions on the next videos. Thank you so much, and don't forget, connect to God, to yourself, and to other people, and in that order. God bless. Have a great day.